It's a real mixture of, hooray, it works, and, oh, not again. Go! I've been 3D modelling for about 20 years now. 3D printing I've really only, I suppose, recently got into, I guess, in the last 4 or 5 years. Largely doing sort of like plastic printing, like that one, and I've really only been doing any resin printing for the last 12 months or so. I got into 3D cosplay modelling by following a few people on Instagram. I followed one of them on Twitch and went into his Twitch stream, and he was saying that he wants to do more 3D printing and stuff, but he can't find any decent models. So I asked him what it was that he was going to try and find, and I modelled it for him whilst he was on the Twitch stream. And he was like, I can't believe this. So he started to print it, and then he wanted more stuff from me, and I started just doing it for fun and sending it to him, and he would start to announce, hey look, this guy does 3D models, look how cool they are, and I've just been kind of expanding from there on in, really. I mean, I'm still relatively new to cosplay and its ethos, but in general, the people seem really happy and they're really pleased to work with you, which is really nice. I think 3D printing is coming into cosplay because it's making a lot of people's lives easier. To do the 3D modelling, I use a 3D modelling package called Cinema 4D. It's the one I've largely been using for 20 years. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be in 3D. That gives me all of my models, and then I move to either one of the different printers that I've got. I've been modelling a little 3D crystal that is actually from Doctor Who. I was just trying to turn it into something that people could have as a little bit of a cosplay prop. I've been shrinking it down to have a look to see whether or not I could turn it into a keyring. The process largely starts with the model, building it all up, and once that's done, slicing it into one of the slicing softwares depending on which printer that I'm using, and then just exporting the model, making sure that the settings will fit what the resin is going to do, as you have to adjust them depending on which resin you are using, and then bunging it in the printer and sitting back and watching the UV light flash on and off, and until the 15 minutes or 3 hours later you've got your 3D model. Various different challenges that you can get when 3D modelling is how on earth to make it. Half of the time reference material is a really big problem. That people will say, hey, can you model this? And you'll have one angle from a blurry pixelated image and you're like, what shape is this? So it's a lot of guesswork and artistic license to get the right shape. And then once you've done that and you're happy with the shape, you then have the problem, how will this print? So a lot of the problem that you've got, like when I'm doing the Red Queen, is of course you've got something that's 1.2 meters and a printer even of that size will only do 400 mil in one go. So you've got to slice stuff up and figure out how this is going to fit together, or what sections you can print things in order that stuff will slot together. They're probably the biggest challenges. And of course, when your printer nozzle blocks and it screws up your print completely. I actually far more enjoy helping other people with what they're doing. That's one of the reasons why I like other people to give me ideas for cosplay. I need to do this sword, I can't find a good model of it. Oh, I'll do that for you. And that's where I go. I think one of my favourite pieces at the moment is probably the Red Queen. I'm really happy with the way that that all slots together and becomes one final thing. You know, knowing that I've made that fit together, I've modelled that to not just sit together but to slot together, and each little component will fit in its particular slot. Making mistakes along the way I think is just part of the process. That's generally 3D modelling in every way. More often than not, is you've forgotten to turn something on, then you've printed it and it's not got the slot and you think, damn. It can really be a double-edged sword, because you can walk into here and think, I'm going to click print, and then you walk out again, because sometimes things can take 6 hours, and you'll get a little print and you think, that's exactly what I wanted. Sometimes you can wander in here and after 6 hours you've got a big spaghetti mess where the model has come away and you think, that's not what I wanted, that's 6 hours of a print wasted, and that's however much material there that I now just got to stick in the bin. So it can be really frustrating if it doesn't work. You just have to go, right, okay, take it out, 15 minutes of annoyance, and then click print and walk away, and you've got what you wanted again. I think for me, the most satisfying part of the process is once the print's finished. So I've been doing this for 20 years. 15 of that, all of my outputs were a digital picture. And then when 3D printing came along and I could actually hold in my hand the thing that I'd modelled and think, this is real. I made this, you know, within a couple of hours, 6 hours, or sometimes 52 hours, you can actually hold the thing that was just a digital creation for so long, is really the sort of thing that still gets me, even though I've been doing it like 4 or 5 years. It's like, I made this. And it might be something fun, you know, like a giant sword, or it may be something functional, like an ironing board holder that I've printed for the lounge, you know. It's like, not very exciting, but at least it's real.